So the reason why Rudy Gobert is not playing his games because he was at the birth of his child. So that French Baguette did not
Not yet.
play in a game two semifinals because he needed to see that little croissant being born. Unbelievable. That's not a team player, man.
That was creative, sir. That was creative. As
Wow.
the
Little
as
croissant.
as the lone father of the pod, I'm not going to voice any
Listen,
issue
man, if
with
Van
that.
Fleet could do it with Toronto, Gobert can do it.
Little macaron.
Listen,
Which one's better? Little macaron or little croissant?
the way you delivered it was perfect. I don't know if you can get better. But I mean, shout out to Anthony Edwards for putting the team on his back, team effort as well, but putting the team on his back so they can steal one in Denver so they could afford to have Gobert miss this one. And if you're in the locker room, you're telling yourself, all right, guys, we got to win this for Rudy's little macaron. That's what you're doing.
No one's made me drop my croissant.
Let me just say something.
Well, say it then. Don't
My
wait.
pause,
20
yeah, my
minutes.
my pause is because I really don't know if I want to say it or not.
I just say
That's
it, man.
what it
We're on no
is.
team.
Just say it, man.
All right, I'm gonna
I
say.
could delete it if you don't want it there.
I'm gonna say.
He's lying. He's not.
I am gonna. You're right, but it's. Oh no, keep it. You know how you said it's vital to the pod to mention the Lakers every show. That's only when they're playing, right? Like we don't have to talk about them anymore. Their season is over. Let's talk about.
There's a bunch of
teams-
storylines still out there. I mean, who's
Let's
going to be
talk
the next
about
head
teams that are
coach?
still
Who's going to be the
playing.
next head coach? Is LeBron coming back?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Ev. The Lakers are always relevant. Okay.
Always.
It's not. I know.
Lakers are always relevant. All right. If you want this
just-
podcast to be produced, the Lakers. It's in his contract. Okay. The
That's
Lakers are
That's
always
true.
relevant. All right.
That's true. That's true.
Evan, major markets are always relevant.
Listen,
All
man,
right.
we're holding it down for y'all, okay?
Yeah, man.
Man, I'm rooting for the Knicks, man. Knicks to the finals, baby.
Listen,
I'm
man,
with it.
let's go. It's good. It's great content.
No one
Great
wants
content.
that,
I'm
man.
for it.
Except
I'm
every
for it, man.
every single ESPN show out there. This motherfucker swears like all these pundits are from New York rooting for the Knicks. Fuck out of here, man.
Man,
Not all of them.
listen, man,
It's just half.
it's all good.
God, more like 80%.
All right,
I
y'all,
didn't say
listen,
all
listen,
of them. The only
let's-
major
okay.
one is Stephen
All
A.
right.
Smith. Who else? That's it.
Molly
Listen,
Will
Kira.
Bond's from Chicago.
Don't play
So
this game.
he's not
with
rooting
them,
for
okay?
them.
Don't play this game.
Greeny?
Don't substantiate this hate, all right? Listen. Don't do this.
Jalen, not Jacoby.
Brunson?
Jalen Jacoby. Yeah.
They're not on ESPN.
No, but he's on that other show, that carton show or whatever now.
What show?
Jacoby.
what-
He's on that like
What about
carton
the
show
one
or
that's
whatever.
not from
That
there?
New York
He
motherfucker.
doesn't get regular spins on TV. We're talking about TV pundits, right? So you're talking about Will Bond, Stephen A. Greeny. Those are different calibers than Jacoby. One that
Shannon
gets
Sharp.
Colin, all of them.
Collins from LA.
Malik is not
Everybody's-
rooting for the Knicks.
Skip
Everybody, they
Bayless.
room for the next for sure. Colin is room for the next.
Colin is.
I mean,
He's from New York.
No, he's not from New York.
Yeah, LA guy.
He's an LA guy. Oh.
Yes. All right,
They
what are
all
we
want
doing?
the
I don't
Knicks to
know.
succeed. They love talking about it, man.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
And kind of just like poo-pooing Stephen A. Like, are we gonna pretend like he's not the biggest face of ESPN right now?
We don't need to talk about Stephen A. Please.
The issue with Stephen. Yeah, there you go. That's the issue with Stephen A. We Stephen
But he's gonna
A.
get what he wants, and they're gonna be
Drake
talking about the Knicks.
are two conversations that you won't get any positive reviews from.
That's not true.
At least
I'm more I'm more centered on Steven.
He
The
said
thing
Steven,
is,
not Drake.
I'm centered on Drake too.
That's funny.
The
Lou's
issue,
disdain is visible on camera when you
the
mention
issue,
Stephen A.
the issue with Steven is he's been consistent with his Knicks takes. It's just his stock has risen substantially compared to what it was. So Christian, they land harder now because he's more popular. His shows are doing better and things of that nature. But I feel like that's career advancement. That's not necessarily conspiracy theory to put the Knicks out there. That's just a Knick fan who has
I didn't say
risen
it
to
was a
the point
conspiracy
where
theory. I'm just saying like the producers and all the people who run these shows are all from New York. There's a reason why we say East Coast bias.
I mean, how many people live in LA?
What does it matter? All the headquarters are on the East Coast. What does it matter?
What I'm saying is a lot of people are from New York. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, my boy
mean-
Hans, my boy Jamie says that this is Nikola Jokic today.
Austin Reeves' dad, big country.
oh my gosh, that's how he's playing.
That's how you play against the Wolves.
I'm seriously asking, are they related?
Man. You said what?
I'm seriously asking, are they related?
What's wrong? What's wrong with you, man?
Who Austin Reeves and
Not
him?
all white people look
Brian.
alike. Not being racist.
I'm staring for similarities here.
All right, question, y'all. Does Kendrick have to respond, or is it over?
No, but he should.
He doesn't have to respond.
He doesn't have to respond, but I wish he would. I wish he just nailed this
more
motherfucker.
music? You want more music?
I think if anything, he'll do it
I'm just
and
tired
getting
of
at his
Drake
own
whining.
leisure.
Drake and his fans
sounds
whining.
like, oh, bro. And then this whole narrative of I fed you the info. I'm like, well, okay, you fed the info. And why are you on, like, all your tracks have been on the defensive?
He sounded super defensive on the last one.
All of his have been defensive. So, whatever.
So the last track, man, they're still down. This is bad. I'm sorry. I can't get over the score. This last track by Drake, y'all saw in the chat. I like the tone and the delivery, and that's what I initially wanted, right? That's how I initially wanted him to approach it. Now, granted, I do understand we're in a different time, right? Beef is handled differently, and this is, I guess, my old man ways. Back in my day, this is how we did things, et cetera, and it's a different generation and the time that we gave in. But to lose credit, we all know things get exaggerated during beefs, right? Like things get exaggerated. Things are put out there that may or may not be true, right? And it's up to the opposing side to either, show credit or not, or, et cetera. But one thing I felt like he did kind of go over on and cap too much on was saying that he fed the info, just because the reaction, so by saying that you fed this info, you're portraying yourself as this mastermind, right? When it didn't play out like you were a mastermind. Does that make sense? Typically when you see something, right? I think of movies, right? Think of those great movies that give you like the last twist on it. Like I think of Inside Man. Remember with Denzel Washington when they
Phenomenal film.
robbed the bank
Bowen.
yeah.
Phenomenal
Do you
film.
remember that? Ev? Remember that movie? Christian, you remember it? So when you think of that, right, how he masterminded through the end and it kind of goes his way for the most part, I think of that. So that's the part that I felt like, come on, bro, if you're going to exaggerate on something, why'd you pick that when everything you've done hasn't been looking like it's a master plan? It's been looking like, oh,
Especially
you said this, I'm going to say this.
Someone who's like so involved on social media and is trying to troll so much. How do you not bring receipts right after it dropped?
Exactly. For one. For two is this, first of all, you're trying to claim what Kendrick told you he was doing. You're trying to, the wild part about it is everything played out exactly like Kendrick said. So for you to now then take the stance, which the internet brought up before you did, or maybe he fed him to agree to me. Your own fans were trying to drive this on conclusion and you took it. Drake was hurt. He got beat at his own game. You thought you were going to be able to play the internet games Then you thought you were gonna kill him with Family Matters. Like, I gave him a banger track, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And he gave you not only one right after it, because he goes right into what he said. I already calculated what you thought you were gonna even calculate. And then you gave him a banger. You gave the people a banger. You gave the people a contract. Drake is hurt.
Am I wrong for this one? Am I wrong? Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. With Family Matters, if you take
It was
visuals
pre-recorded.
aside,
Yeah.
visuals aside,
Mm-hmm.
that was better than the last one he dropped. Visuals aside,
Family
am I
Matters,
wrong?
I think
Am I
was
just
his
wrong?
best one. You think it?
And if
you
I'm
think
wrong,
it-
I'm wrong. You know, it is what it is. But
Are you
like,
talking about
am I
are you talking
wrong
about
for that?
push-ups? Are you talking about push-ups? Is that what?
No, I'm not talking about push-ups. So Family Matters, but don't think about the visuals. Just
Right.
put the
The
track
song.
on. Yeah, the song by itself, is it better than his last one, The Heart?
Oh, the latest
Part
one he
6?
dropped. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I think slightly because the
Okay.
energy
So I'm just
of it.
wrong then.
Yeah, I think the energy of the track.
well, the flow and everything was better. The lyrics, it was all pre-record. It was all pre-planned because the ghostwriters wrote it. You know, he had it in front of him. It was studio made. It was mastered and all that stuff. You could tell the difference between how.
But
No,
not just
it's
that,
definitely
the
pre-planned
track, it was
because the
just
visuals.
And the push-ups. And it was the end of push-ups. It was the end of push-ups. If you hear push-ups as you hear Family Matters begin. So he thought, this is how he thought he was going to back-to-back it. He's like, oh, I got these 2 tracks ready. Not knowing Buddy had full clip ready for him.
Nah, but he also had the visuals too, and the visuals take time, Lou, as you know. So I think he had to get the
No,
visuals
that's what I'm
in, 'cause
saying.
Don't forget,
Like-
he had to shoot the scene at the restaurant. He had to shoot the whole car, the Good Kid, Mad
We
City
talking
car.
about? Can you talk about his corny ass
Bro, he had
chain that he made
Johnny
with a
Dang.
G unit
Johnny
chain?
Dang. Yeah, Johnny
Yeah.
Dang had to make that chain. So you have to call in Johnny Dang in Houston down here and come and do it. So yeah, we cut them 2 tracks together. It is still, man.
But
Let me.
By the way, with Family Matters, I don't like when they change up the beat. I'm tired of that shit. They do it too much. I'm tired of it, man.
It's
Drake
like a
and
prerequisite now.
bro, Drake and who else does it?
But Kendrick did it too, though.
That was it. That's Kendrick's signature.
Switching up the beat like that.
Yeah, his signature is switching the beat for sure.
everybody's doing it now, though.
Yeah, I mean, so let me.
It's kind of like when Screwed from Houston, when everybody was chopping up and screwing their songs, and when that wave hit.
Let me put a couple just observations out, right? We wanted this battle. We got 8 songs and a verse from this battle. So, you know, feelings aside of who won and who not, because let's be honest. K-Dot fans are going to feel one way. Drake fans are going to feel another way. And bystanders are going to feel a way different from both of those, right? But have we had a battle at this magnitude of 2 heavyweights to give you 8 songs in such quick succession, like ever in the history of rap?
No, this is the greatest battle ever.
Yeah.
This is the greatest battle ever. For entertainment value,
More than Nas and Jay-Z?
way more than Nas. and
More than
Jay-Z.
Biggie and Pac?
That's the only one that gets close to it. And I would say
Hey,
more than
that
Biggie
one-
and Pac because it reached
that
more
was-
people than Biggie and Pac did.
And Biggie and Pac was often misunderstanding.
What about
So-
G Unit versus who are they beefing with? With the game?
Everybody.
Literally.
Everybody. Everybody. But no, just because the sheer entertainment, like Ev said, the sheer content that we received, I liken it to Tyson Holyfield, right? Like it's huge, heavy hitters. This is gonna be something that's cemented. Like you're gonna talk about, I remember, this time, I remember the vibe, like for us to be a part of it now, like this is dope. This is something that you don't ever really get to see to this magnitude. If you think about it, you only get this much content, I hate to say, but from lower MCs. your lower MCs are the ones that go back and forth like this. But like your heavy hitters, top of the game cats, they're not going back and forth like this. Nas and Jay-Z ain't go back and forth like this. They didn't give you, you know what I'm saying? They didn't give you this much content. So to F's credit, no, this is the most entertaining and I think biggest battle beef we've ever seen in hip hop.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I just wish
In entertainment, can we argue in entertainment?
I just wish Drake wasn't such a little bitch and just kept on going because I needed Kendrick just to bury that motherfucker.
yeah.
Drake's a
Tired of him.
businessman at the end of the day.
Tired of
too.
his fans,
He's not
man.
going to
They're a bunch
continue
of
to
babies.
go. He's a
Bunch of whiny
businessman.
motherfuckers, dude.
It's him though. He's a label. Because look,
He's a businessman. He's not going to keep going knowing
not
that.
just that. His label, because his label was like, look how much money they invested, $400 million into him. So they're looking like, look, bro, we can't even really take the chance of your career being halted by this man. So we're gonna let you bow out right here.
That's the other part I struggle with. Like, so all right, I'll just say it. His career wasn't being halted by this. Like,
No, I'm saying
there's
no,
nothing
it's
that
not.
happened
He's a
in this that's
megastar.
going to impact
No.
either of these people.
No. He's a megastar. So
No, but
his
Kendrick
career
made
is
it
not going to be
cool.
over.
Kendrick made it cool to hate on Drake though. He
He
changed,
didn't make it
he
cool.
culture
It's not
shifted
even.
it.
No,
It's
that's
not even
not
just
fair.
that.
It was cool to hate on Drake before. Being cool to hate on Drake made the atmosphere for Kendrick to
That's not
step
No,
in.
that's not
That's
true.
No,
not
that's
true.
not true.
You're
That is
right.
not true.
I
That is not
disagree.
true. It is not
Well-
true because here's the biggest issue.
Okay.
Drake is a victim of his own circumstance. Drake's biggest demographic that followed him and loved him always knew he was corny, but did not care because he wasn't trying to come off as some HUD nigga. He wasn't trying to come off as hard, as tough. He was giving shorties quotables for the summer. You know what I mean? They loved him for it. They knew he was corny, but he wasn't talking bad about them. He was giving them something to shake the butt to. Okay? Then you get on these other, you get on, do this record or do this album with 21 Savage, and you berate the entire demographic that supported you the most. So you started breeding that, you started brewing
Kendrick said
that
it.
feeling of F. Drake by yourself. Like you did it
So-
because you were a victim of your own hubris.
He culture
Let me say-
appropriated the whole Atlanta
Let me say
vibe.
this. It was cool to hate on Drake for a short 6-month to a year window earlier in his career.
Right
When he
before
was
Take Care
emergency.
came out.
That's when it
And
was cool
Lord knows
because-
was the track that he responded to all of that.
Yeah, and that's when it was cool. But once Take Care, the co-sign by Jigga, he was untouchable. Like you couldn't say
no
that's like
hating
hating
on
on
him.
Mike Jack.
Let
You
me
couldn't do it.
Let me say what I was saying differently. What I mean was all the feelings that you all just spewed out were brewing prominently below the surface and created an atmosphere for Kendrick to come out and lay them all out the way that he did. What I'm saying, if the feelings weren't there from so many people about Drake, you wouldn't have 2 future albums coerced by Metro Boomin, dedicated in part to multiple artists taking their shots at Drake.
But at what-
You wouldn't
but at
have
what
so
point-
much of
So I'm trying to
one second,
understand
Lou.
what is
Hold
it?
At what point though do we hold him accountable for creating?
I'm not saying
the
he's not
atmosphere?
accountable. I'm not saying
Okay,
he's not
no, but
accountable
that's
for creating atmosphere.
but that's the point I want to point out too. Is like
Yeah.
it can't because the way it's coming
creating
out
this.
is it's like he didn't create it. Like
Yeah,
it was.
Oh no, that's not what I'm saying.
Train.
That's
I felt
that's
like
not what I'm saying. However
they're
it happened,
two-
it happened.
there are 2
I'm
sides of the same coin. I guess is.
No, I get you.
But
However
you're right
it
though.
happened,
The
I'm not
atmosphere, the
saying-
table was set.
That's all. Yes, that's
Table
all I'm
was
saying.
set.
Kendrick didn't come into a table where food wasn't laying on it and
100%.
bring
No,
food in and
100%.
cook it.
Fam,
That's what.
100%.
it's okay. I'll take it to sports
100%.
terms. When you have a player that, okay, we make fun of the fact that, you just make JB go left, right?
Mhm.
If JB were to turn around and talk about how it doesn't matter. He can score in any way that he so pleases. And then he comes up against another star of his level that then exposes the fact that, yo, why would you say that? You know you have no left. Now I'm making it a point to now force you to go left every single time and make it the most prominent thing that everybody sees when they watch, whether it's the series or this game. Mm-hmm. See, the table was set by him. The table was set by JB. Now it's one of those, it's like, yeah, we all know it. We like it is what it is, and we move on. But then when you then come with your own hubris, acting like that's not an issue, it's not a flaw. It's not a flaw in your game. And then it gets somebody says, okay, well, I'm going to expose the fact that it is a flaw in your game, despite what you may think, or you're living in this delusion. Then it's like that person can't be the bad guy.
Yeah,
he can't be called the bad guy for that.
But Lou, you gotta acknowledge that other point that Ev was saying though. So to continue your metaphor, the other players forcing Jalen to go left too set the table for that one player to continue to destroy him. So just like we saw in the playoffs, right, where the Celtics lost and they were forcing, like, remember the montage they had on YouTube and forcing him to go left, different players forcing that and them getting the turnovers. That also would set the table for that one player to continue to use that as well. Is what Ev is saying, meaning like I agree. Like at the end of the day,
but I believe that's not hate though. That's not hate though.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's why I'm disagreeing
hate
with Evan. That's what I'm saying. That's not hate. You can't say that this hate has been brewing.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this.
The reason
I'll say this though,
ahead,
you can't say it's without hate because there's hate culture in there. So there's hate on Kendrick's side. There's gonna be hate on Drake's side. So I think and even back to Biggie and Pac, there was just straight up hate. So like you can't X out hate, just like you can't X out bias, right? Like there's a bias in everything that we do. Like you can't get rid of bias. Like there's a theory out there. There's no true objectivity because there's always some bias. So you can't rule out hate. There's always gonna be hate there. And the fact of the matter is, there has been hate for Drake just based off his success, right? There has been hate for Drake off his success, but the difference in this beef is that it's not just solely based off of that, and that's what's going on. Like,
and it's not even based off his success. It's not even based off his success. It's the basis on which you're saying your success was gained in is or warranted. You're not gonna come and say, yo, your success is off your pen. It's not off your pen. Stop it. Like we're just not gonna acknowledge that, right? It's your artistry.
No. Artistry. He bought those pens, Lou. He bought those pens, Lou. They're his pens.
You're right.
He bought them for his Ghost Riders.
He bought those pens, Lou.
Yeah, he went to Home Depot, bought those pens for his Ghost Riders, and handed them out.
Passed them out, Lou. Stop it.
Right. That's my bad.
Disrespectful. Lou, I'm not gonna let you besmirch his name like that.
You're right. He's the one that owns the receipt. My fault.
Thank you.
Those big pens.
Lou.
Those big pens.
This is why Drake fans and Kendrick Lamar fans are having their tizzies on social media.
I'm a fan of both. I'm here for it.
And
I love Drake.
Well, exactly. That's why the casual folks are looking at this like, what is going on out here right now?
I just like the hoops that Drake fans go through just to discredit what Kendrick did. And it's like,
Drake
how are we gonna pretend that Drake isn't a sexual predator? Like, how are we gonna pretend like he's not grooming these girls? A 31-year-old man is not texting a 14-year-old girl, Millie Bobby Brown, and saying, "I miss you." Like, let's be fucking for real, bro. Like, fucking for real.
But what Drake is though, somebody as Drake hasn't been seen in the rap game since Hammer, right? So somebody who's reached those heights, because don't forget when Hammer was on, right? But also Hammer wasn't viewed as a wordsmith and one who, you know what I'm saying, like who's going in there and embodying it. Yep. And what's happening in the game is when cats are coming up and going pop, right? But they don't have the quote unquote skills that go back to the inception of the culture, they're seen as frauds. And it's a hard pill for those who value those core skills, right? Those core fundamentals.
Cultural versus conversion. That's it.
Right. Like it's a hard pill for those to swallow.
Yeah.
And Drake is like the ultimate playboy. You know what I'm saying? He is the ultimate embodiment of that, and it's a
Yeah.
hard pill for those who are, I guess,
The pure, quote
call
unquote
themselves
purists.
purists, hip hop purists. You know,
Yeah.
it's a hard pill for them to
It's
swallow.
just culture versus commercial, man.
'Cause
And
if you look
nothing,
at, like-
both are necessary.
If you look at the guys who crossed over, Jigga, he has a pen game. Like you're not gonna sit here and doubt Jigga. You're not gonna sit here and doubt Wayne. You're not gonna sit here and doubt Eminem. Like cats who've crossed over and gone big like that, they can still go down and walk into a club and a cipher and hand it to you and be like, "What did you expect?" You get what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Can we
Yeah.
can we also stop with the you got to prove it, bring receipts bullshit? Because all the best rap disses never had receipts. It was all
No.
just word. He said.
I don't know.
Okay.
Jigga put a picture up on the stage.
Did
Yeah.
did Tupac bring
Yeah.
receipts about fucking Faith Evans? No. He just
didn't
said, "I
make it.
fucked
And
your
a lot of-
He
wife."
didn't make it.
Had a lot
He
of-
didn't make it.
A lot
He
of
passed
pictures
away.
out.
He passed away. He didn't make it, Christian.
I'm just saying.
Unless
man.
you believe he's in Cuba.
And unless my timeline is off, Rick Ross introduced the whole Drake surgery BBL thing.
No, he
Kendrick
didn't.
did it first.
Flex did it first.
Flex did it
Mhm.
first.
Because
Okay.
Flex was
Flex
talking
did
about he went to how he
His
went to the
surgery.
doctor, and then he you know what I mean, to not look like a bozo. He was talking about everybody else who went to the same doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't
Then I
flex
leave
about
that.
that.
I leave that then. Okay.
Then from that, then Meg jumped on it, and then Ricky did, and then Kung Fu Kenny did.
Yes.
Ricky was just echoing.
That was my only slight thing. But nah, Kendrick came with it. But Drake came with it too. I'm not saying he came as good as Kenny, but Drake came with bars as well, man. He stood up
Listen.
to the battle, man.
What was my first thing? I just wanted Drake to be a part of it.
That's
Like,
it.
You know,
That's it.
I just wanted Drake to get in there. And
Fundamentally, here is what my whole issue with just it being a battle in the first place. And I please correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first battle I've ever seen where one party literally had other people writing. It's mind blowing.
Do we
It's
know that?
mind blowing.
You got
I
Metro
know that.
dissing Drake with just a beat.
Ajay, come on, bro.
Do we
Come
know
on,
that?
brother. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Do we know that?
Come on, man.
uh,
You know what? It's fine. This is why certain things I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bow
I
out.
think there are
Brother.
certain things that
It's
are
cool.
just that are
Nah,
known.
it's
When your
fine.
reference tracks get leaked, your
multiple
reference
times.
tracks were leaked.
Multiple times.
Okay.
Multiple
Your
times.
reference tracks were leaked.
Multiple
I
tracks.
think
Come
that
on,
kind
dog.
of lets it
You
go.
like it's
and then
clear examples of your flow from somebody.
not even that.
Like,
I'm not even going with that. Reference tracks were leaks. Other rappers are on wax saying that they've written certain parts of your hit songs, like literally are saying it that
yes.
I wrote this. Like at that point, I don't
And
think
then on
we
top of
can
that,
say
we
it's like
look
a
at your
rumor that
credits.
point.
Then we look at your credits. Like, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
the credits.
It's
too.
in your credits. What am I supposed to say then? My bad. You know, they did the
I'm
intro.
talking about.
They did the
I'm
intro.
talking about these battle songs. I thought you were saying.
Yes,
these
one
battle
of them
songs.
has other people on the credits.
Yeah,
That's
Family
right.
Matters has other people on
There's other people on the credits.
on the
like,
writing credits.
right.
Okay.
But he's a machine though. He does things different. Drake's
Exactly.
consistent.
But that's why I say, in terms of
He does things
as an
different. He has a
artist,
team.
he is the biggest artist that we've seen since Mike Jack. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He's I won't say he's Beyonce level
Nah,
because Beyonce's cult following is something else.
He's not even
But-
Taylor Swift level.
nah.
Yeah, like them two are
Beyonce
so.
is
Beyonce-
the closest to Mike Jack level if we're talking
Yeah,
about. But we're just
yeah.
splitting it male and female.
No, I'm talking about I'm leaving them out of there as vocalists, right? Because as a vocalist, but yeah, nah, Drake is one of the biggest artists that he one of the biggest artists we've ever seen, not just on our generation, but we've seen in music. And so there's no discrediting his artistry and how and what he means to music. It's just that I mean, at the end of the day, he is a character, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so Drake will never gel with the fundamentals of what people believe or what people believe there's certain fundamentals of hip hop. He's never going to represent her. So
That was for that ant shot. That wasn't for what you were saying. I'm sorry.
And to his credit, though, he would have bodied any lesser man.
Well,
Drake
he
was
did.
different.
Meek Mill.
But he does this thing where he kind of fades away when it comes to actual lyricists, right? Pusha, he just kind of faded away. Joe Budden, he kind of just faded away. Now, granted, they aren't on the same tier as him. So now that it's Kendrick, it's like, nah, you have to step to the front of the congregation now. Now the spotlight is here for real. You're battling Pusha and Joe Budden. It's kind of like, nah.
He realized who the
okay.
real alpha was. He bowed down.
He gave 4 songs. Man. Come on. He gave 4 songs.
He gave.
Okay.
He gave.
Okay. Hold up. You're right. You're right.
His writers gave us 3 songs. He gave us
No.
one song.
You're right. No. You're right.
That last one was his song. I could tell.
I know some shade
the
is
Sixers
coming.
showed up. They showed up and played against the Knicks in the series. You know, they did their thing. They showed up.
JoJo gave you 50 hurt, man. I'm not. Max
And the Sixers what? The Sixers what though?
I mean,
they what? It's one word. It starts with an L, ends with a T. They what?
Give me the loot.
They what?
Loot. I like that.
With that,
I'm a bad man.
I gotta roll.
On this, guys, thanks for a great OT. Be sure to like and subscribe on our channel on the 3 on 3 podcast.
Evan doesn't want to acknowledge when somebody loses.
Kendrick won. West Side.
They not like us. They not like us.